Hey Daisy, just going to talk to you briefly today about the toddler IV cannulation arm that we've got here. I just wanted to go through the whole product from unboxing it so that people can see what's in there and then a quick demonstration of how it's used. So at any time, feel free to interrupt me and ask as many questions as you like about it. All right?
Yeah, sure. Let's go and check that.
Sweet. Let me just change the camera around for you. So this is the box it comes in. So this is the arm itself, made out of really good silicon. Also comes with the first set of tubing in there, which you can then pass blood through later, which I'll demonstrate shortly. And then you can stick cannulas in.
All right.
Comes with a couple of syringes as well, which you'll need to operate them again. I'll show you that in a bit. This is the repair kit that comes with it. So it's just a set of A and B silicon. So your B is your colorant and A is some of the ingredients that makes the silicon cure. So you mix an equal amount of the two together. Again, there's videos on our website for that. So you just mix the two together, and any big holes that you end up making in the IV arm itself, you can just pack in with the repair solutions, which gives you good skin coverage, good tone, and everything else, and also comes with a spare piece of tubing.
Okay.
Just going to transition a little here. Hang on. Way.
Question, Pete.
Yeah.
Yeah, while you're doing that, my first question is, what is this for?
Instructions. So this is sorry, to answer your question, Daisy. This is for IV cannulation training. So it's a standalone trainer that you can use to insert IV cannulas into so that you can get a good, accurate way of training people the method of inserting cannulas into pediatric patients.
All right, thank you.
Give me just a sec. Here's one I magically prepared earlier. All right. So, middle, now. All right, so now I'll demonstrate how it's used. So you can use this in exactly the same way as you would do any other normal cannulation trainer and also in real life. So you can put a tourniquet on it. So I'll just put a tourniquet around here, just as a demonstration. There we go. Just be a little bit cautious like you would do with a real person. Just be a little bit cautious when you put the tourniquet on that you don't pinch any of the silicon inside the arm there. Now, this is attached to two syringes here, which has got your lure locks on there. So those just screw onto the syringe like that. So they just come off, screw on. So as you're providing the training, just having somebody applying your educator, applying a gentle pressure to the opposite syringe. So it means that you get a bit of back pressure in the line, which means that when you actually insert the line, which I'll demonstrate in a moment, it'll give you a flashback, which is what we want to see clinically when we're trying to put a cannula in so that we can see that we're in the right place. So you'll get the flashback in the hub of the cannula here. So if I just turn this around so I can actually, right. So with the model itself, you can palpate the vessels. You'll be able to feel them around here. So just looking at the underside of the arm here. So this here is just a small loop, just so that you can see that your line's been run through and everything else. It is disguised reasonably well by the palm. Fortunately, as I said before, this is a standalone trainer rather than a simulation piece of equipment. So it shouldn't detract from your participants too much with regards to cannulation. Now, pediatric cannulation can be really, really difficult. Their vessels are often quite deep, and depending on how chubby the kid is as well, if they've got a bit of still got a bit of that baby fat around them, they can be really difficult to get to. Now, unfortunately, with the way that silicon behaves, you can't use an ultrasound. So you can't do an ultrasound guided cannulation on these models, unfortunately. So here I'm going to go with my little 22 gauge cannula. It's always best to try and use a smaller gauge cannula with these, just so it prolongs the longevity of your tubing. If you poke really big holes into the tubing, then you're going to need to replace it a lot more often. So I'm going to give a go. I think I found the right place for the vessel here. It's going to advance here. So I'm just looking for a bit of flashback. Should be in the right place there, he says. This is where I need a lovely assistant, you see.
Another question, Pete. Yeah, while you do that, who are the target customers that we have here?
Who, what, sorry?
Who are the target customers here?
Oh, so anyone that wants to, so simulation centers, anyone that wants to do cannulation training. So as you can see there, I've now got flashback into the hub of the cannula. You see the red in the top of the cannula there? So yeah, this will give you flashback when you're in the correct position. So
Okay.
that's what we're kind of looking for. So now I can advance my cannula and withdraw my needle. It can be a little bit sticky because obviously silicone as itself is a little, doesn't quite behave the same as humans. So just going to undo that there. And as you can see, you still get a bit of the natural bleed back here. If I were to push on this, there you go. So you can confirm you're in the right position. Obviously, put your
Oh, yeah.
cannula, and that's it. Done. So yeah, the target people would be those wanting to train other people in the basics of pediatric cannulation.
Okay.
So right.
Another question, Pete. It's a very curious question. What is the diagnosis of the children for this kind of demonstration?
So children need IV cannulas for all sorts of reasons, either antibiotics, long-term stays in hospital. There's all sorts of reasons why you'd need to put a cannula, even intravenous feeding, all sorts of reasons. Hydration, yeah, that's
Oh, okay.
yeah. So it's a very common procedure that will be done on a lot of pediatric patients. I mean, any pediatric patient coming into theatre to have an operation will probably need an IV cannula of some description.
And is it also available in other colors like dark?
Yes, it is.
Good. Okay.
So it's also available in various different colorways as well. So we have white, tan, and black. These are, yeah. So, and obviously with custom orders as well, if you have a specific color that you really, really want, then, we can do that as well. But these are the main colorways that we use currently.
All right. And I've noticed that for cannulation, because I'm really not familiar to it,
Yeah,
like
that's all good.
other injection is smaller compared to the other one.
I'd say again, sorry.
The other size of is it injection? It's smaller to the other one.
Oh, with the syringes. Yeah, that's just
The syringes,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So that's just to enable you to either give um volume or pressure with regards to what you're pushing through. So yeah, just a bit of basic physics essentially just to help you use it. So you will need one smaller syringe and a larger syringe just to give you the back pressure that you need to get the flashback in the hub of the cannula essentially. Yeah.
Okay. And another question, how long will this product can last?
Yeah, as I said, it comes with a repair kit. So as you can see, even though I've only stuck so far this, I think it's only had a couple of needles in this. As you can see, there's not a mark on the silicone itself. So these can go time and time and time again, so long as you're using smaller gauge needles. Again, if you're using like an 16 gauge needle, then you're going to start gouging really big holes out of the silicone. So using a smaller gauge, this is a 22, so it's very fine. And then obviously there's the 24s that we can use as well, that are often used in pediatrics. So 24 gauge needles even finer than the 22, which means that it'll last for quite a long time before you have to consider repairing it. I think the only thing really that's going to be a slight issue for anybody is the tubing, because obviously once you've stuck a needle in the tubing several times, you may need to replace it. Going through the replacement for the tubing, as I said, the actual kit itself does come with extra tubes, so you can just put it in afterwards. So if I just flush this out, Put that in there for the moment. Flush this through. So after you finish using the model, use a bit of water. 50 alcohol water is usually what I would use. But in this instance, I'm just going to use some air just to push through what's left so I don't make a mess. So you're able to take off the lures on the end of the piece of tubing here. If at first all you need to do sometimes is just move the tubing along. So you can just pull one end of the tubing round. As you can see here, it goes round into the palm again. So you can just pull the piece of tubing around just to change the position. So if you end up with a hole, you can seal the hole up on the tubing or just remove the tubing entirely. So I'm just going to pull the tube all the way out here. There we go. So you can remove the tubing from the model and then just with a little bit of lubrication. So use a little bit of water-based lubricant just in the holes here. All you need to do, these are already pre-lubricated. All you need to do is just push your fresh piece of tubing into the holes. Sometimes maybe using some sort of guide wire or something. Here, ironically, we just use kebab skewers to get them into the right place, just so that you can feed them through. But there you go. Once it's out of the palm, you just pull it all the way through. And again, just coming in from the other side, you just push that into the hole here until it comes out at the other end here. So that's how you change the tubing out. There you go. And then all
Okay.
you need to do is just attach your lure locks to the end again. So
Okay.
these just push onto the bits of tubing here, just like that. That's it. That's how you change the tubing. So it's really
Oh,
easy to use.
that's cool. Another question.
Yeah.
Yeah, you mentioned that there's like an extra tube in the kit. Can I
Yep.
still add like more tubes so that I can anticipate the use of it?
So, I mean, this is just standard silicon tubing, which you can buy from like hardware stores, that kind of stuff. Or
I
even
see.
if you're working in a simulation center or have access to various medical equipment, you can use intravenous giving set lines for the same thing as well.
What's the size of that tube, Pete?
Cool, that's a good question. I think it's a mil, but I'd have to double check on that.
Sure.
I
Because you know
think
what, Pete?
it's in the
Yeah, I
mil.
keep
Hang
on.
on.
Sorry.
It's all
You know
right.
what, Pete? I keep on receiving like inquiries from our customers if they can like buy some additional tubes from us, and they're asking about the sizing of it.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right. Well, we can quite easily provide any of the extra information to the customers if they need it. Yeah, with regards to the diameter of the tubing and any replacement stuff, they're very welcome to just get in contact with us and we can pass that information along. Like I said, just using standard intravenous giving set tubing will work just the same. I mean, I've got an example of it here. So this is just your standard
Mhm.
IV giving set tubing. So it's almost the same. Let me just change the camera. There we go. So it's pretty much the same diameter as that stuff there. So, and this will obviously be in every single hospital, no matter where you go. So it's very easy to get your hands on, particularly if you're at a simulation center or something. So yeah, and there's oftentimes plenty of this stuff that goes through its expiry, and then yeah, it'll get thrown away otherwise. So it's a good way to recycle some of your used kit as well. So yeah,
All right, Pete. Thank you so much for demonstrating this product, and
yeah,
that's
all
just my
good.
questions for today.
Sweet. Okay.
Thank.
Well, if you got any more, obviously just get in contact, and yeah, I'll do my best to answer them for you.
Sure, Pete. Thank you so much, and see ya.
No worries. See you later, Daisy.
Bye.
See ya.
Bye.